Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to a golden wake where a hurricane is about to hit and we've got to convince George Merrick to get the hell out of here. Whether or not we're going to be able to do it, I don't know.
George.
Yes?
But we're going to attempt persuasion.
George, we need to leave. Isn't there any way I can convince you?
You did a pretty good job of convincing plenty of other people in the old days. I'm not opposed to hearing what you have to say.
Okay, he's open-minded. Alright, we're into one of these then.
So Alfie, why is it so important we go back?
Okay, danger. If we stay here, the hurricane will kill us. We need to leave immediately. Needed. Coral Gables needs you back. Your absence is felt. Mother, Althea is very sick. She's not going to make it. You need to go to her. Okay, so let's think about this. We could play to his ego a little bit here. Make him feel like he has a purpose. Danger, I mean, he knows he's in danger, so I'm not sure that's going to help that one because he's already boarded up the windows and everything, so he knows the hurricane's coming and obviously doesn't think it's that dangerous. So it's going to be one of these two, I think. Could be that his mother could be the answer because he seemed quite close with his mum, but then there's this ego thing. I think we'll go with this one.
Your mother is terribly ill. I came to tell you.
Is that actually
I don't think she's going to make it. You need to come back to Miami as soon as possible.
Alfie, please. I watched you sell countless plots of lands and houses to people for years. Do you think I can't tell when you're lying?
No.
If this is what you came for, I think we should turn our attention to more worthwhile conversation topics.
Okay.
George.
Yes?
Reattempt
George,
persuasion.
please, listen to me. We have to get out of here.
So you say, but I have yet to see any valid reason to.
Okay.
So Alfie, why is it so important we go back?
So we get another chance. Okay. Well, let's try the ego one.
Coral Gables needs you back, George. It's just not the same without you.
Oh, I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years.
Maybe not that one.
We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
Ah, okay, hang on. Agree, disagree, convince. Agree. You're right, we're just useless relics. Not the right one, I don't think. We're still important. Those new people are a bunch of jerks, and there's still so much left to do. We can't just give up. I'm going to try and convince him.
There's still so much left to do in Coral Gables. You can't just give up now.
Oh, really? This is an interesting change of attitude. Didn't you give up on Coral Gables when you decided to work for Tom Walsh?
Defend, deflect, insult. I saw where things were going and went with more lucrative opportunities. Don't try turning this around. This isn't about me. Insult. I didn't give up on Coral Gables. I gave up on you. I kind of feel like that's too aggressive. Don't try turning this around. This isn't about me. I saw where things were going and went. I mean, we could just be honest and say that we got tired of being the errand boy and wanted something a bit bigger.
I saw the way things were headed and decided to go for a more lucrative opportunity.
For which I can hardly blame you, but I just wish you hadn't jumped ship so soon.
Okay.
What else was I supposed to do? Drown with the rats? I don't share your optimism, George. I still can't understand how you never felt tempted to just give up yourself.
Who says I didn't? Do you think you're the only one who saw what was going on? The Depression came to Coral Gables years before the rest of the country. There were days when I thought about packing it all in. I knew when the bubble had burst, but I worked too hard to just give everything up. I stayed until they threw me out.
I didn't know that. I thought you were just naive.
Huh.
We all have our bad days, Alfie. Sometimes it's bad weeks or even months. But what's important above all else is sticking to your principles.
Acquiesce. You're right. How could I have been so rash? I'm an idiot. Question. Are your principles worth getting killed over? Warn. Principles are great, but money is what's on people's minds nowadays. Oh, this is difficult because I feel like that is true, but I don't know if that's going to help us. Are your principles worth getting killed over? I mean, any of these feel like they could be right, don't they? Should we just accept blame?
You're right, George. I don't know how I could have been so rash in my decision. I'm an idiot.
Now, Alfie, don't be so hard on yourself. The fact that you're here now says volumes. But really, let's discuss something else. No need to be so down in the dumps.
Alright, so it's not that.
George.
Yes?
Okay, reattempt.
George, please, listen.
So you say. So, Alfie.
Oh, so we have to go all the way back. Oh, damn. Okay.
Coral
Let's just go through these then. It was convince, I think.
So much.
Oh, really? This didn't you?
Defend, deflect. It was defend, I think.
I saw the way.
For which I can hardly.
What else? I still.
Who says I did? The Depression. I knew.
Yeah.
We all have our bad.
Okay, so question or warn. Are your principles worth getting killed over? Principles are great, but money is what's... I think maybe we do this because this, like, will give him that business spirit back, right? You know, money is on what's people's minds, so you can get back in the game.
I understand what you're saying, George, but times have changed. Principles are important, surely, but the depression and lack of money is all anyone thinks about.
Yeah.
You made the city beautiful, sparing no expense, making it all about the aesthetics. But think about the value of that city in the current economic climate. Someone in charge wouldn't think twice about tearing down the Biltmore to sell the land if it meant a profit.
And all the work we did, all the sacrifices people made will have meant nothing. I hadn't even considered that possibility. I can't in good conscience allow something like that to happen. It seems living down here all these years has made me a bit out of touch.
Okay, I think we might be
Alfie,
almost there.
As soon as this storm passes, we'll take the first train back to Miami so I can assess the situation myself.
No.
Thank you for helping me see things a bit more clearly.
The storm...
I think I'm the one who should be thanking you for that, George.
The storm, I don't think...
Right, let's get a move on.
Oh, okay, fine.
We should be careful. It sounds like the storm has gotten stronger.
Okay. Oh, dear.
George,
Whoa.
this building is coming apart. We haven't got any time to lose. We need to get someplace safer.
Let's go, George. Come on.
When we get out there, we need to head directly for the shelter south of here. Just follow me, and we'll be there in no time.
Okay.
Right behind you.
So the shelter was down this sort of way, I think, on the map, wasn't it?
George, watch out! The ceiling is collapsing!
Run, George. What do we do? Door. You have no intention of leaving here without George. Uh-oh! Ah, damn. Okay, so what... Is that meant to happen? What?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember a very special man whose life was unfortunately
Oh, was there another
cut
way
short.
out?
Alfie Banks was someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind. In fact, he certainly gave me a piece of it one of the last times I spoke with him. Alfie didn't need to apologize to me for the falling out we had so many years ago, but he did, and that meant more to me than anyone could ever know. In the time I knew and worked with him, Alfie always showed an immense amount of initiative, which makes it no surprise that he achieved as much as he did. Despite harder times in his last few years, he showed in the end that he was a good man. I would not be here speaking to you right now if it weren't for him.
That's rough.
Not only do I owe my life to him, but my livelihood as well. Though I may not have expressed it as clearly as I should have, Alfie was instrumental in the success of Coral Gables. I'm sure he knew that. And though he was taken from us far too soon, Alfie's legacy will live on in the streets and buildings of this city. Because, just like the galleon which came to be the symbol of Coral Gables, Alfie sailed through all our lives, leaving behind a golden wake.
Hey, the name of the game. Alright, so I don't know if there was a way we could have played that differently. Because that was all very sudden. Maybe there was another way out. Maybe we had to take the boards off the window or something and go through the window. It wouldn't let us use the thing. Okay, Edward Doc Dammers, Coral Gables' first mayor, completed his term in 1928. In 1929, he suffered a stroke while playing golf. After several months of recovery, he returned to his home in Massachusetts, where he died on March 24th, 1930. Ah, look, it's the real picture. Despite being killed in his penthouse suite on the 4th of March 1929, Thomas Fatty Walsh's legacy lives on at the Biltmore Hotel, where many claim his ghost still haunts the 13th floor. Employees have reported elevator malfunctions as well as the smell of cigar smoke when nobody is staying in the suite. Oh, look at that. I love this, the little transition to the real photos. Alfie Merritt continued living at her home until her death in 1937. In 1976, the city of Coral Gables acquired the house and restored it to its 1925 appearance. In 2010, the Coral Gables Garden Club commissioned a bronze statue of Althea, which currently sits in the garden of the Coral Gables house. Shows how good the game portraits are, though. William Jennings Bryan went on to participate in the Scoped Monkey trial in 1925, where he famously took the stand and denounced evolution. Successfully achieving a guilty verdict, Bryan died 5 days after the trial ended. Mabel Cody continued performing death-defying stunts with her flying circus until 1924, when it disbanded due to an accident where she suffered a broken forearm and dislocated shoulder. She went on to join the Doug Davis Baby Ruth Flying Circus. Eunice Peacock Merrick remained in Coral Gables until her death in 1989. Her contributions of land, as well as founding the Coral Gables Women's Club and Gardening Club, made her a pivotal figure in the development of the city. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas went on to become a crusader for the environment, best known for her work related to the conservation of the Everglades. Her best-selling book, The Everglades River of Grass, made her cause popular and earned her the nickname the Grand Dame of the Everglades. She died in 1998 at the age of 108. Jeez. Wow, 108 years old, that's insane. After the 1935 hurricane destroyed the Caribbean colony, George Merrick returned to Coral Gables, where he re-entered the real estate business. In 1940, he became postmaster of Miami and died 2 years later in 42 at the age of 55. Merrick's legacy is still apparent in Coral Gables to this day. In addition to several streets and parks which carry his name, a statue of him was erected in front of Coral Gables City Hall in 2006, commemorating his vision and eternal optimism. Looks like him, doesn't it? And there we go. Wow. Yeah, let me know if there was a way we could have played that ending differently. Whether there was another way out without dying. Was not expecting us to die at all. But man, what a game. I played this based just purely on Francisco's promotional material that he put on Blue Sky and stuff. I expected it just to be a 1920s era adventure game all about real estate, and expected to get us to climb all the way to the pinnacle of the real estate industry, I suppose. Did not expect the Mafia twist, but I really, really liked it. I liked the whole becoming a Mafia member, then overthrowing the Mafia. Alfie's story was insane. A lot of you guys were saying that it would make a really, really good movie plot, and I agree with that massively. I think it would make a really, really interesting movie. But yeah, everything that I love about the Grundislav Games adventure games. By the time this goes out, in fact, unless you're a patron and you're watching this early, the new game, Rosewater, will actually have been out for a day, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already, because that looks like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I will be checking it out on day one. But I'm just going to let the credits roll. This has been really cool. Next up, we're going to be playing Kathy Rain, another adventure game that I've not played that has been recommended to me so many times. I've played the demo for it, I've played the demo for the second game, so we're going to finally play the first game all the way through. Really looking forward to that one. It seems like really, really my sort of thing. But that is where we'll leave it for this one. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne Nate, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Hobo, Numinous, Kumadim, Paul Leone, Flossie the Sheep, JohnCon555, Chrissy, Paul James, and Zolties. And I'll see you next time for Kathy Rain.